Yesterday was admittedly kind of a down day. First day back at school for Henry, which really impacts my day. Kind of bummed out. Today I'm feeling much better, and he had a really great first day, so that helps a lot. This week Casey is out of town for work, and so it's just me, and getting up early is really hard, and I'm just letting myself be kind of lazy. Now, this morning I did knock an errand out super early, which kind of sucked. I went all the way over to Sam's Club and picked up a pickup order, which I actually did partially because I hoard my recycling. They have a bin there that accepts a bunch of things that our city does not accept for recycling. And so I collect all of that stuff over kind of a long period of time because it's not the kind of stuff that, you know, we have a ton of. Anyway, and so I do that until it's overflowing and driving me crazy, and then I'll do like a pickup order, or we'll run to Sam's and I'll drop that in their like thing in their parking lot and then get my groceries. So I did that this morning, like immediately after drop off, and it just kind of sucked because traffic on the way back was really crummy, and I know that if I had gone at like 10 a.m. it would have been so much more chill. It feels good to have that Sam's order handled that got some like good back to school snacky stuff in the house. I did make muffins last night. They're like protein chocolate muffins, so I'm feeling good about that. A change this year for Henry's school setup is that they're not having snacks in the classroom. So the past 2 years, kindergarten and first, he had like a snack time, and the parents would bring a snack for like the whole class to share. And then they would eat those. And so now when I pick him up from school, he hasn't eaten since lunch at 11:30, and he's like really hungry, understandably. So part of our routine now, I guess, is going to be me bringing a snack kind of at pickup, so that he can kind of immediately devour something. And so today I'm packing a snack for both of us because I think we're going to head to the library after school. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really figured out how this routine is going to work. I often am very hungry by the time it's time to pick him up as well. I also snack at 3 o'clock. That's just kind of become part of life. So I'm actually packing kind of like a 2-person size snack for him and I to share. And yeah, if he eats it all, like fine. And then if there's enough for him to share with me, I know that I will be hungry. Also making my first coffee of the day around, oh my god, it's 1:30. So making the snack. I've got 2 chocolate muffins. These have like protein powder in them. No, this died. There were like kind of 3 main things that I was really upset about yesterday. The like deeply emotional feelings were coming from Henry starting school and just like missing him. It doesn't really help that Casey's gone right now because I really am alone, and like while I'm enjoying my alone time, it also just feels like I really am very deeply alone. I'm feeling a lot better about that. Henry is having a good time at school. I feel really good about his teacher this year. He has like a good class. I think he's going to do great. Drop off was a little hard this morning, but I like had time to like just sit with that and process it. And I have some ideas for making tomorrow a little bit better. And I was also shared yesterday how upset I was with you guys. Not upset with you guys. I shared with you guys that I was upset about the changes that are happening in my church, and talking that out really helped. So thanks for being my therapist. But also after I have had some time to process, I had a really good conversation with my mom about it. And she obviously is like helpful in that regard because she raised me in that religious tradition. And so that was really helpful. And then I talked to you guys a little bit, and I've just like had time to process. And so last night I spent some time on YouTube actually looking up this change, because I felt like when I watched the live stream of my local church's presentation of how this is all going to go down, everything for me just fell a little flat. I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel like they were helping me walk through this in any way. And like with a change this big that's based around a community, I really feel like that community should be going through it together. And yes, I watched the live stream and I was home, by myself, and maybe being in the room would have made that different. However, I don't really think so. I think I was hoping in watching that to see our new minister like honor the past a little bit more and just present things a little more seriously. It was just sort of like quick and a lot of explanation about like what the church is, because there's so many people who come to UUism from the outside, so they don't know about like the governing body and all of that stuff. And so just like having to give all that backstory and then just like doing it in such a quick way, it just really felt like, I don't know. I honestly, she mentioned that the service, the other aspects of the service had run long and she was going to have to kind of cut her talk short. And so perhaps she had more or better things to say that would have been like, felt to me more like supportive in that moment. And she didn't get to do that. But for whatever, like it didn't happen. I didn't feel like there was any kind of like grounding thing around it, and I just feel kind of lost, and like I'm having to figure this out on my own. Like I feel like I'm homeschooling my religion, and probably have been for a long time and just have kind of like not thought about it, but I am, and I do, and I study it. I don't, like do it every day, and I don't think about it that often, but I have over the years come back to it as a source for, like how I engage with the world. Anyway, so last night I spent some time looking on YouTube just to see what other people's responses were. I was actually looking for someone in my position to be kind of like upset with me, and instead I didn't find that. I found another minister at the UU church in Boulder who gave his talk, and it was 20 minutes, and it was an actual like sermon. It wasn't a bunch of church bullshit. It was like just his talk that they had uploaded onto YouTube, and he was talking about the history of the stuff that's kind of being like gotten rid of. And it was really, really, really helpful for me to hear how it has not always been, and how it's always been kind of flexible. And he just like really, I felt like he was holding my hand a little bit more through this change. And yeah, he actually gave the talk a year ago. They've been working on this for a few years now, like this change. And I'm really grateful that that was there. Yeah, because I just haven't felt great about that. Anyway, I'm getting emotional again, but kind of in a good way. Like I'm feeling a lot better. I feel a lot more prepared after kind of like doing some research and just some like personal thought to like accept this change and move forward. And yeah, I'm trying to let myself have kind of like a morning feeling of letting go of what I was raised with and allow myself to just like feel those feelings. And, you know, soon I think I'll be ready to take on the learning of the new stuff. Right now, I'm just still kind of in the letting go part. Anyway, clearly there's a theme here. Change is hard. I'm having a hard time with it. And I do have a hard time with it. Yeah, so that's my UU stuff. Feeling a lot better about it. Not like totally there with elation, but way less just like depressed. What was the other thing I was upset about? Sororities. I think I mentioned that I was like feeling some sadness, as I do every year, from observing the sorority girls. They, you know, line up in front of their sorority house and they all just look so hopeful, and it's rush week and they're trying to get into a sorority and build friendships and like have a group in this huge university. They're trying to find their people, and my heart just goes out to them. I feel so much just, I don't know, like empathy for no reason. Like I didn't experience that in college. I have no connection to it at all. I mean, I went to college and I know how hard it is to make friends and all of that stuff, but yeah, they just look so vulnerable, and they are, because they still don't know who they are. They're just trying to figure out how they fit in this one mold and if that's going to work for them. And yeah, it just like really, I don't know why it impacts me so much, but yeah, so I've just been kind of like holding that in my heart a little bit. And the other night I went down this like rabbit hole on Instagram Reels of this girl who was looking at the Alabama Rush sorority girls trying to get into Alabama sororities are making their videos of their outfits for the day, and they're just sort of going down like, this is from that brand, this is from that brand, all that stuff. I found a girl who was taking those videos and really respectfully, by the way, itemizing the items. So she's telling you how much each thing costs. And I was blown away. It's ridiculous amounts of money, thousands of dollars in one outfit, guys. Like $10,000 outfits. And so I just was, it's morbid curiosity, because it's just such a crazy example of this like materialistic lifestyle that I cannot relate to and just don't really understand. And so I was just like, what? Yeah. And so I added all that into my sorority sadness, and it just like the fact that it is not financially feasible for so many people to like participate in that. It just, it's sad. It's really sad. And I just hope so much in my heart that the girls who don't fit in, who don't get in, who do get in and find out that that might not be their people, like eventually find their people and who they are and become themselves. Because living a life just trying to fit in can be valuable in some ways, but it's exhausting, and living your true self is just so much better for you. Yeah, feeling like everything's lifting today, you know, just like yesterday it felt really heavy. Today I'm feeling a little lighter. Hey, cool. You guys can drive with me. I realized that I forgot to say one more thing about the church stuff. And that was that as a part of kind of my processing all of this, I made myself a playlist, which I've called Church, and I don't believe in God or Jesus or any of that stuff. I'm a Unitarian Universalist and also an atheist. But so the playlist is just kind of like some songs that resonate with me. I don't necessarily believe everything that's in all of those songs, if that makes sense. Like some of them might use language that isn't really the language I use around my beliefs, but you know, it's vibey, it's kind of the mood, and it's like a little bit who I am spiritually. So that's on Spotify, and I will drop a link to that in the description for you guys, in case you're interested, and if you want to share any songs with me that kind of like give you similar feelings, that would be super cool. I'm gonna put it on now. I can't play it on the video obviously because that stuff's all copywritten for a good reason, but yeah, if you want to give that a listen, it's linked on Spotify.